What does LGBT History Month mean to you?
So it's obviously a chance to be able to get us noticed. So people like me don't always feel like we're noticed, particularly within sport. It's becoming a bit more mainstream in sport now, and also in just general life. Instead of it being stereotyped of like being within the theatre or music or industry that LGBTQ plus is classically associated with throughout history. So having a history month where it's good for the moment, but we want to get to the stage where there's no need to have a specific dedicated month, and it's literally just part of just general history.
What's it like being LGBTQ plus today within society?
Within society, I don't seem to hear too much of homophobia used personally. It doesn't necessarily mean it's not out there, but I generally don't hear too much of it directed at myself anyway. But in the past, I've had it aimed at me within sport. I've even had it where it's almost like internal, where I at the start of online dating, when I said I was into football, people online refused to believe I was gay because I was into football. So trying to find someone to go on a date with online because I was into football was also that bit tricky as well. So it's moving forward on both sides progressively, but it's probably still got a bit to go.
And what about when it comes to football? Is that experience different? Have you experienced any challenges?
Towards the start of when I was playing 15 years ago, there was quite a bit. First time I played for a club, they obviously didn't know this website is going to date how old the playing was, but the club I was with found out via a now defunct website called Face Party, predecessor to Facebook. No longer exists as far as I know, but I can remember once going home to do some coursework from college, and then all of a sudden getting a call on the way back to college from the manager to ask if it's true. So I was like, yeah, and then they didn't know how to react, so that was on Wednesday. They had a game on the Thursday, and I was asked to stay away. At the time, it was for as long as possible. It turned out to be just for the one game, just so that you know how the players would react. I was back playing on the Sunday, back in the squad on the Sunday, but I was actually asked to stay away for that one game to sort of see how the team reacted, and that would have been about February 2006. So it's going back a bit, but and also whilst I was with them, oppositions, when they didn't know, it was just he's just a rubbish player. Once they knew, it was he's gay, what do you expect? And there were times where I was actually thinking whether playing was actually hindering any cause for promoting LGBTQ plus players within football. So there were times where when in local leagues, I didn't really enjoy it because it felt like I was almost detrimental. I then went and joined a club called, started off with Exeter Lions, then changed to Devon Lions, the first LGBTQ plus team in Devon. Once I was there, it changed so much. I was the only one who had actual experience within the last couple of years, so they actually put me as coach. So I was therefore developing coaching at the same time I was developing my playing ability. Came on absolutely leaps and bounds within 5 or 6 years with them. It was, the amount I've changed was unreal. I am now with Iskra Apollo, who are the Exeter LGBTQ plus friendly football team. I don't know when this is going out, but we've got a match this coming Sunday at 2:00 down at the Exeter Sports Hub on the Astro, so if anyone's available, please come along and support. Most of my experiences of homophobia within football was early on. Do occasionally hear the odd bit here and there, but it's more directed at opposition players in a generic term rather than specifically doing it because they think they are gay. Or so it's common ones like after a tackle you hear maybe once a season, get up your puff, or something along those lines, whereas when I first started going at the turn of the millennium, that was 4, 5, 6 times a game, if not a half, hearing that. So it's definitely come on leaps and bounds, but it's not been fully eradicated just yet.
How do you feel when you go to matches and you see the club supporting football against homophobia and rainbow laces?
So it does make me feel more relaxed about coming along to football. Admittedly, that's never been too much of an issue for me, but for others, I do know that it has been a big issue. So the Exeter Apollo were invited along on the Football v Homophobia game against Derby County on Tuesday. There were a few who wouldn't show up to football if it wasn't for games like that, because they wouldn't feel welcome. We had pretty much all letters of the LGBTQ plus there. So there were gay players like me. There were trans there. So there were quite a few aspects covered within the team from showing up, and they wouldn't have felt like being comfortable showing up if it wasn't for events like Football v Homophobia, Rainbow Laces, and so on.
This month is LGBT History Month. Has there been a moment or a figure within LGBT history that has inspired you?
Wouldn't necessarily go as far as inspired. When I was sort of early teens when Justin Fashanu took his own life, who up until recently was definitely the first, but until recently the only professional footballer in England to come out during his career. We've now got Jake Daniels, who's come out at the very start of his career. So we've now got two that have come out and played professionally. We have had a few that have come out either post-career, like Thomas Hitzelsberger.
And finally, what does visual representation like the rainbow ball mean to you?
So rainbow laces and the rainbow ball. Obviously, any visual representation is good. The Rainbow Laces campaign's been going for a few years now. I do know that some television companies do really run with that one. For example, Sky Sports, they have everything rainbow. If anyone watches Sky Sports during the Rainbow Laces campaign period, they will notice that they've got the rainbow flag go at the bottom of the Sky Sports news strap, and it's up in the corners on Soccer Saturday. So they really do go with it. I think also they have all their microphones with the rainbow flag on it as well during that period. So some really do go with it, and that sort of getting that level of visual representation is good. But also more within the actual sport, well, not just football, but all sports itself would also be good as well. But there's been players that have come out in football, rugby, got cricket. Got various sports, so obviously we've got Tom Daly with the diving, there's others sprinters from various nations, so quite a lot from various sports that have come out, and whatever sport it is, the more that are comfortable being themselves whilst competing, the better it's going to be all round.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.